In a faraway galaxy, there was a proud alien empire known as the Zereth Dominion. They were tall, graceful, and believed themselves to be far superior to all other races. For thousands of years they ruled their worlds with strength and honor. To them, humans were nothing more than primitive beings from a small blue planet. Among the Zereth was Princess Liara, daughter of the High Chancellor. She was known for her sharp mind, her pride, and her unshakable belief that her people were destined to rule over all. She often spoke boldly against humans, calling them weak and unworthy. But one day, fate would change her life forever. There had been a conflict between the Dominion and the Human Federation. It started as a small dispute over trade rights, but soon grew into a dangerous standoff. During one tense moment, Liara was involved in a heated argument with the Council. She insulted the humans, calling them less than worthy of space. The humans heard of her words, and relations grew even worse. The High Chancellor was furious. He told Liara that her pride had gone too far. In front of the Council, he gave her a punishment that shocked the entire Dominion. Since you think humans are beneath you, he declared, you shall marry one. You will learn humility. You will learn respect. The chamber was filled with gasps. Liara's face burned with anger and shame. To marry a human? To be bound to one for life? She could not believe it. But in the Dominion, no one could disobey the Chancellor. Soon after, a human delegation arrived. Among them was Captain Elias Ward, a decorated officer of the Human Federation. He was strong, calm, and known for his sense of justice. When he was told that he would be bound in marriage to the alien princess, he did not protest. He accepted with quiet dignity, saying, "If this is the path to peace, then I will walk it." Liara hated the idea. She looked at Elias with disdain. In her eyes, he was nothing but a punishment, a symbol of her fall from honor. But to everyone's surprise, Elias showed her no bitterness. He did not smile with arrogance or gloat over her humiliation. Instead, he bowed his head with respect and said softly, "I will treat you with honor, princess." The ceremony was simple, but heavy with meaning. The Dominion nobles whispered among themselves, while the humans watched carefully. Liara stood stiff and cold, her pride refusing to break. Elias stood beside her, calm and steady, like a soldier on duty. When the vows were spoken, she repeated them without emotion. To her, it was only duty. After the ceremony, the two were taken to a private chamber to begin their new life as husband and wife. Liara crossed her arms, keeping her distance. She expected Elias to boast, to demand, or to show his power. But instead, he did something she did not expect. He removed his officer's cloak and placed it gently over her shoulders. "You must be cold," he said. His voice was quiet, without mockery. Liara froze. No one in her own court had ever shown her such simple kindness. She looked at him with suspicion. "Why do you do this?" "Do you think I will thank you?" she asked sharply. Elias shook his head. "I don't need thanks. Respect is not taken, it is given. I will not harm you, princess. I only wish to prove that humans are not what you think." For the first time, Liara felt a crack in her pride. She turned away, unable to reply. She told herself it was just an act, a trick to win her favor. Yet in her heart, she felt something strange. His words were calm, his eyes steady, and his actions carried no selfishness. That night, she could not sleep. She remembered the moment he had placed the cloak over her shoulders. She remembered the warmth of it and the quiet strength in his voice. She hated the confusion growing inside her. Was this truly the human she had insulted? Was this the kind of man her people had called weak? Over the next days, Elias continued to act with patience and dignity. He never raised his voice, never mocked her, and never acted as if he owned her. When they shared meals, he made sure she ate first. When they walked through the halls, he kept a respectful distance, but always remained near in case she needed protection. Liara tried to keep her heart cold. She told herself again and again that he was only playing a game. Yet every time he acted with honor, her doubts grew stronger. One afternoon, They walked through the gardens of the Dominion Palace. The tall crystal trees shimmered in the light, and fountains whispered softly. Liara, still proud, asked him, "Do you not feel ashamed, Captain? To be forced into this by my father?" Elias looked at the trees before answering. "No," he said, "because shame comes when we turn away from what is right. If this marriage brings peace between our people, then it is right. I will carry it with honor." His words struck her deeper than she expected. For the first time, she saw that this human did not see himself as a victim, nor did he see her as his enemy. Instead, he saw their bond as a duty for something greater than themselves. Liara's chest tightened with feelings she did not want to admit. She had always believed humans were beneath her, yet this man stood taller than most of her own kind. He was not weak. He was not dishonorable. He was different. That night, as she lay awake again, Liara whispered to herself, "Perhaps I was wrong." Days turned into weeks, and the forced marriage between Princess Liara of the Dominion and Captain Elias, Ward of the Human Federation, became the subject of whispers across the galaxy. Many nobles waited eagerly for Liara to declare her hatred, while others expected Elias to fail and embarrass humanity. But what happened instead surprised everyone. Liara still held on to her pride, but her heart was no longer steady. Elias continued to act with kindness and dignity, never forcing his will on her, never mocking her weakness. At times, she caught herself watching him, wondering why his presence calmed her, though she would never admit it out loud. One morning, Liara walked into the training hall, expecting it to be empty. Instead, she found Elias there, practicing with a traditional Dominion blade. The weapon was heavy, built for her people's strength, and it looked almost too large in his hands. Yet to her surprise, he swung it with focus and discipline. His movements were slower than a trained Dominion warrior. "That weapon was never meant for humans," she said, her voice sharp. Elias lowered the blade and bowed slightly. "Then perhaps I am learning wrongly," he admitted with honesty. "But I wish to understand the ways of your people. A husband should try to learn the world of his wife." The Morad startled Liara. None of her suitors among the Dominion had ever spoken like that. They had always expected her to fit their world, to adapt to their strength. But this human, he tried to adapt to hers. Curiosity overcame her pride. She stepped forward and corrected his stance. "Your grip is wrong. Hold it here." She placed her hand over his, guiding him. His hand was warm, steady, and respectful. He nodded and adjusted his posture exactly as she instructed. "Better?" he asked. Liara gave a small nod. "Better," she admitted. For the first time, a hint of a smile touched her lips. She quickly turned away, hiding it. But Elias saw it, and though he did not speak of it, carried the memory in silence. The more time they spent together, the more Liara's walls began to crumble. She saw Elias during council meetings, where Dominion leaders tried to insult him. Instead of answering with anger, he always replied calmly with reason and patience. When one noble accused humans of being greedy, Elias said, "Greed exists in every species, but so does compassion. Judge us by our actions, not by your fears." His words struck not only Liara, but also some of the younger nobles, who began to wonder if perhaps humans were not as weak as they had been told. One evening, as they sat in the palace library, Liara finally asked the question that had burned in her heart since the day of their marriage. "Why do you not hate me?" she whispered. "I was forced upon you. My father gave me to you as punishment. Why do you not see me as an enemy?" Elias closed the book in his hands and looked at her steadily. "Because I see beyond the command. You are not my punishment, Liara. You are a person. And if I can help you see humanity with truth, then perhaps our people will find peace. That is worth more than pride." Her chest tightened again. She wanted to argue, to deny his words, but her heart betrayed her. In that moment, she saw no weakness in him, only strength born of patience, humility, and quiet courage. Soon, an opportunity came that would test them both. A Dominion outpost near the border was attacked by pirates from a lawless system. The council argued fiercely about how to respond. Many wanted to strike hard and punish the raiders, But Elias spoke firmly. "Punishment will only bring more blood," he said. "We should protect the outpost and defend the innocent, not burn villages in return." The nobles scoffed at him, but Liara found herself nodding silently. For the first time, she agreed with a human in council. Later, as they prepared to travel to the border world, Elias found Liara standing alone in the hangar. She looked at the stars, her expression troubled. "Do you truly believe mercy will stop violence?" she asked. "Not always," Elias admitted. "But mercy gives space for hope. Without hope, war never ends." His words echoed in her mind as they boarded the ship. The journey was dangerous. Pirates had taken control of several small settlements using advanced stolen weapons. When Elias and Liara landed with their escort, they were greeted with fear and anger. The settlers did not trust the Dominion, for they had been abandoned before. Elias stepped forward, speaking to them in calm, steady tones. "We came not to rule you," he said. "We came to protect you. Stand with us, and we will drive them back." The settlers hesitated, but his honesty won them over. Liara watched in silence, stunned at how humans connected with others. Where Dominion leaders demanded obedience, Elias inspired trust. When the pirates attacked, Elias fought alongside both settlers and Dominion guards. Though outnumbered, he showed courage, protecting the weak and guiding his allies with clear commands. Liara fought too, her blade striking with speed and strength. At one point, when a pirate aimed a blaster at her, Elias pushed her aside, taking a hit to his shoulder. Lyra's heart stopped. She struck down the pirate in rage, then rushed to Elias. "Why would you do that?" she cried. He winced, but smiled. "Because no life is worthless, not even mine, not even yours. We protect each other, Princess. That is what trust means." She pressed her hand to his wound, anger and fear battling inside her. For the first time in her life, she realized she did not want to lose him. The pirates were defeated and peace returned to the outpost. When they returned to the Dominion capital, the council expected Liara to claim all the glory. But instead, she stood before them and spoke words no one expected. "It was not Dominion's strength alone that won," she said clearly. "It was the courage of Captain Elias Ward, a human. Without him, I would not be standing here." The chamber fell silent. Never before had a princess praised a human before the council. Her words sent ripples through the Dominion. Some were shocked, others angered. But many began to see the truth she had seen. Humans were not weak. That night, as they stood on the balcony of their chambers, Liara looked at Elias with softer eyes. "You confuse me, Captain," she said. "I was told humans were small, fragile, and unworthy. Yet you carry a strength that my people cannot match. I do not understand it." Elias smiled gently. "Perhaps strength is not always in the body, but in the heart." For the first time, Liara allowed herself to smile back. Her pride was still there, but it no longer felt like a shield. It felt like a mask she no longer needed in her heart. She whispered words she could not yet say aloud. "Perhaps this marriage is not my punishment. Perhaps it is my lesson." The marriage between Princess Liara and Captain Elias had begun as punishment and duty. But after the battle at the border world, something had changed. Liara no longer saw Lies only as a symbol of her humiliation. She saw him as a man of courage, patience, and honor. And though her pride resisted, her heart could no longer deny what it felt. Still, their union faced danger. The Dominion Council was divided. Some nobles believed Liara was betraying her people by standing beside a human. Others feared that her words of praise for Elias might weaken Dominion pride. Whispers filled the halls. "The princess has fallen for her punishment. The human controls her heart." Liara heard these whispers and held her head high. But deep inside she worried. If the council turned against Elias, they could strip him of protection. Or worse, one evening, Elias found her sitting alone in the crystal garden. The stars shimmered above, reflecting on the pools of water. She looked troubled, her usual strength dimmed. "They doubt you," she said quietly. "They doubt us. They see your honor as weakness, your kindness as trickery. I fear they will act against you. Elias sat beside her, calm as always. Let them doubt, he replied. Truth needs no loud defense. If I live by my values, time will show them what kind of man I am. Liara turned to him, her eyes searching his face. You speak as if you fear nothing. I fear many things, he admitted. But fear does not rule me. Duty does. And right now, my duty is to stand beside you. Her heart ached at his words. She wanted to say more, to confess the feelings she could no longer ignore, but the moment was broken by the sound of rushing footsteps. A Dominion guard approached, bowing quickly. Princess, Captain, the council has called for you. There has been an attack. The council chamber was alive with tension. Reports came of a Dominion warship destroyed near the border. Evidence suggested it was done by humans. But Elias's face darkened as he read the data. This is not the Federation, he said firmly. The technology used here is stolen, not ours. Someone wants war between us, but many nobles shouted in anger. Lies, the humans betray us. We must strike back. Liara stood, her voice sharp. Enough. You judge without proof. Elias has fought for us, bled for us. Do you think he would risk his own life for the Dominion if humans planned our destruction? Her words silenced the room, but only for a moment. One noble, Lord Verone, sneered. You defend him because you are blinded, princess. You have forgotten who you are. Humans cannot be trusted. Elias met the noble's eyes, calm but strong. If you believe I am a liar, then let me prove myself. Allow me to lead the mission to uncover the truth. If the Federation is guilty, I will face that truth with you. But if they are innocent, then you must accept it. The council murmured among themselves. At last, the High Chancellor Liara's father nodded. Very well. You will go, but know this. Human, if you fail. It will be your life and the fragile peace between our people. The mission was dangerous. Elias and Liara traveled together with a small team, following the trail of the attackers. Their journey led them into the dark regions of space, where lawless raiders and mercenaries thrived. On the journey, Liara found herself watching Elias closely. Even under threat, he remained calm, speaking with the crew, encouraging them, never letting fear control them. She admired him more each day. At last, they discovered the truth. A group of mercenaries, funded by Dominion rivals who sought to end the marriage, had stolen human technology and staged the attack. Their goal was clear ignite war and destroy the fragile bond between human and Dominion. When the mercenaries realized they had been discovered, they struck hard. A fierce battle began in the void of space. Elias commanded with precision, guiding Dominion soldiers and human allies alike. Liara fought beside him, her blade flashing like lightning. At one point their ship was boarded. Pirates stormed the halls and chaos filled the air. Elias fought bravely, protecting the crew, but soon he was surrounded. Liara saw him fall to one knee, his strength pushed to the limit. Without hesitation, she rushed to his side. Together they fought back to back, defending each other against wave after wave. Liara's heart pounded not only with the thrill of battle, but with the fear of losing him. Finally, with one last strike, the mercenaries were defeated. Their leader was captured, and the truth of their plot was revealed. When they returned to the Dominion capital, the council was forced to face the evidence. The Federation was innocent. The attack had been a conspiracy born from Dominion greed and fear. Liara stood in the council chamber, her voice steady and proud. Let this be a lesson to all of us. Humans are not our enemies. They are allies, strong in ways we never understood. Captain Elias Ward has shown us honor greater than many of our own nobles. Her father, the High Chancellor, looked at Elias for a long moment before finally speaking. Perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps this punishment has become our salvation. Elias bowed humbly. I ask for no glory, only peace. That night, as the stars filled the sky, Liara stood on the balcony once more. Elias joined her, silent at first. Then she turned to him, her heart finally free of pride's chains. "You have changed me," she whispered. "What began as punishment has become something else. I no longer see you as my burden. I see you as my strength." Elias looked at her, his eyes steady and kind. "And I see you not as my duty, but as my partner. For the first time." Liara allowed herself to let go of the last walls around her heart. She stepped closer, standing beside him, no longer as princess and human, but as equals. The galaxy around them was still divided, still full of doubt. But together, they had proven something greater, that unity was possible. That strength was not only in pride or power, but in trust, honor, and compassion. And so, what began as punishment became the beginning of hope. For Liara, for Elias, and for two civilizations that had once believed they could never stand as one.